Hello, my name is Mark Meyer. I'm the Deputy Assistant Inspector General for Investigations at the U.S. Agency for International Development, Office of Inspector General. I'm happy to speak with you today about an Agile product our OIG issued last year related to the devastating situation in Ukraine. We call it a One OIG product because we drew upon experience and insights from across our organization to include audit, investigations, and general counsel. The resulting advisory, Key Considerations to Inform USAID's Response in Ukraine, highlights key lessons from our prior oversight work that were relevant to USAID's developing response in Ukraine. The catalyst, of course, was Russia's February 2022 invasion of Ukraine, which left millions of people in need of humanitarian assistance and created significant budgetary challenges for Ukraine's government. USAID immediately played a lead role addressing the needs of the Ukrainian people and government, with the support of billions of U.S. taxpayer dollars in supplemental appropriations. USAID faced significant challenges in response to past complex emergencies like those in Syria and Afghanistan. Fraud, corruption, sexual exploitation and abuse, and diversion are just a few of the challenges USAID faced in those efforts. Thus, we issued this product in July 2022 to ensure USAID and other stakeholders had easy access to relevant information to inform the Ukraine response. Our decision to pursue an Agile approach tied to OMB's December 2021 memorandum, calling for cooperation among agencies and inspectors general to promote accountability. Specifically, the memo encouraged IGs to share risks and challenges with their agencies at the outset of significant new programming rather than only in retrospect. For Ukraine, the situation was rapidly evolving, both in terms of Russia's invasion and the U.S. government's role in the response. By July of 2022, USAID had provided approximately $4 billion in direct budget support to the Ukrainian government via World Bank Trust Fund mechanisms in addition to funding for humanitarian assistance. We recognize that proactively sharing timely information with USAID and other stakeholders was an effective oversight tool in the spirit of the OMB memo on promoting accountability through cooperation among agencies and inspectors general. Notably, USAID OIG took a similar approach in May 2022 to convey key questions for USAID to consider as it responded to the global COVID-19 pandemic. And in August 2021, we summarized considerations for USAID's engagement in Central American countries of El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala, known as the Northern Triangle. USAID OIG's initial Ukraine oversight plan included this quick turnaround advisory as an Agile oversight product. In June 2022, we initiated the advisory, led by a team of experienced auditors in Frankfurt, Germany. The team coordinated with colleagues in Washington, D.C. to gather and assess necessary information from prior audits, investigations, and oversight reporting for overseas contingency operations. In addition, the team referenced prior top management challenges reports for applicable themes that cut across USAID's program. Discussions with agency personnel rounded out our information base. We managed to issue our Agile product in 5 weeks of initiation, which aligned with our acting deputy IG's trip to Poland and the Ukraine border for direct engagement with State Department and USAID personnel responding to the crisis on the ground. In meeting this timeframe, we picked up a few tricks through the process. First, budget time for changing circumstances. Rapidly changing events also mean rapidly changing facts and figures. While our content was largely set, we allotted time for final checks to be sure our facts and figures at the time of issuance held true. Second, start with a good template. Keeping in mind desired length as well as the intended audience, including Congress, informed key decisions in our design. Writing to a good template can also help frame the message and main takeaways. And keep the messages high level and brief without too much technical inside baseball jargon. Third, communicate. With several contributors and reviewers, communication was key. The hybrid team split between Frankfurt, Germany, and the United States worked through email, video chats, shared drives, and phone calls to keep the product moving. The team also used the time zone difference to their advantage, with one team editing while the other slept, and the other revising in kind. Our Ukraine advisor identified risks and challenges related to procurement, direct cash assistance programs, contributions to World Bank funding mechanisms, sexual exploitation and abuse, program monitoring, and stakeholder coordination that could impact USAID's response in Ukraine. While we did not issue any recommendations or produce new analysis, reframing prior insights in the context of Ukraine enabled stakeholders to draw a clear line between the emerging response and potential problems that could stymie intended outcomes. Notably, USAID personnel and grantees operating in Ukraine told us they use the advisory as a data point for decision-making. Building on our experience with the Ukraine advisory, USAID OIG issued an additional Agile product describing the World Bank trust funds USAID used to provide funding directly to the Ukrainian government alongside other donors. We also refined our internal policies and procedures for these Agile products. USAID OIG remains committed to providing comprehensive oversight of USAID's response in Ukraine through audits, investigations, evaluations, and these Agile products. By the beginning of December 2022, supplemental appropriations for the effort to be administered by USAID have grown to over $20 billion, with billions more appropriated in the government-wide omnibus at the end of last year. We stand ready to do our part to ensure that USAID's programming in support of Ukraine is administered efficiently and effectively, and that bad actors compromising these responses are held accountable. Thank you for this opportunity to discuss our important oversight work and how Agile products such as this can impart effective oversight.